Bore da, welcome back to another episode of Sunday Story. Last week, if you remember, we were introduced to a new character, to Abraham, to Sarah, and to a little baby who was born to them in their old age. We pick up the story nearly where we left off, with that child, with that son, Isaac, and we explore today the story called The Present. Enjoy.
The present. God knew that his secret rescue plan could only work if Abraham trusted him completely. God had to make sure Abraham would do whatever he asked. So, a few years later, God asked Abraham to give him a present.
Abraham liked giving presents to God. He gave God his animals. They were called sacrifices, and they were a way to say, "I love you" to God.
But this time, God didn't want a lamb or a goat. God wanted Abraham to give him something more, much more. He wanted Abraham to give him his son, his only son, the son that he loved, Isaac.
Put his boy on the altar and kill him as the sacrifice? How could God want him to do such a terrible thing? Abraham didn't understand, but he knew that God was the Father who loved him, so Abraham trusted him.
Early next morning, Abraham and Isaac set off. They climbed the steep, stony trail up the mountain. Isaac carried the wood on his back, and his father carried the knife and the coals.
"Papa," Isaac said, "we have everything except we forgot the lamb for the sacrifice." "God will give us the lamb, son," Abraham said. They built an altar and laid the wood on top. Abraham asked his son to climb on top of the wood. Isaac didn't understand, but he knew his father loved him, and so he trusted him. He climbed up onto the altar, and Abraham tied his boy to the wood. Isaac didn't struggle or try to run away. He just lay there quietly and didn't make a sound.
Everything was ready. Abraham took the knife, tears filling up in his eyes. Pain was filling up his heart. His hand was shaking. He lifted the knife high into the air.
"Stop," God said. "Don't hurt the boy. I want him to live and not die. I know now that you love me because you would have given me your only son."
Abraham felt his heart leap for joy. He unbound Isaac and folded him in his arms. Great sobs shook the old man's whole body. Scalding tears filled his eyes, and for a long time they stayed there like that, in each other's arms, the boy and his dad.
Suddenly, Abraham saw a ram caught in some brambles. The sacrifice. God had given them what they needed, just in time. The ram would die, so Isaac didn't have to, and so Abraham sacrificed the lamb instead of his son.
And as they sat there on the mountain top, watching the embers of the fire die in the cool night air, the stars above them sparkling in the velvet sky, God helped Abraham and Isaac understand something. God wanted his people to live, not die. God wanted to rescue his people, not punish them. But they must trust him.
"One day, someone will be born into your family," God promised them, "and he will bring happiness to the whole world." God was getting ready to give the whole world a wonderful present. It would be God's way of telling the people, "I love you."
Many years later, another son would climb another hill, carrying wood on his back. Like Isaac, he would trust his father and do what his father asked. He wouldn't struggle or run away. Who was he? God's Son, his only Son, the Son he loved, the Lamb of God. Hello, it's craft time. Today you can make one of these. You will need scissors, glue, pen, a piece of cardboard, 2 sheets of paper, black and white, 2 circular objects, one larger than the other, some googly eyes, or draw some eyes on a piece of paper like these and cut them out, some wool or some cotton wool. First, draw 2 circles like this. And now cut out the cardboard ring. If you're using wool, tie it to the ring and start winding it on. This may take some time, so be patient. If you're using cotton wool, stick it all the way round the edge. Cut out a circle of paper using your largest object and stick it on the back. You can write something you remember from the story in the middle. For example, the Lord will provide. Now, for the head, cut out a shape like this. Stick on the eyes and then stick the head at the top to finish.
Well, thanks to everybody who sent in stars last week. It was really cool to see how people took the craft, made their own designs, made their own amendments. Lots of them are up on the screen at the moment. Remember, if you want to have your craft featured on next week's video, then please send it to us by close of business on Wednesday this week. Send them in. The email address is sammydavis@amfordchurch.com. And apart from that, all I've got to say is have a blessed day. Bye-bye.